What's up, everybody? This is your boy Armand Anderson Bell.
Yo, and I'm your boy Charles J. Johnson. What's good?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Agree to Disagree Talk. Man, episode number 11.
1111. We back. Armand ass in the hot seat.
I'm in the hot seat, ladies and gentlemen, so please submit your questions, your comments, or Jake, go ahead since you think you do it better and give them that number.
Oh yeah, y'all know what it is. Call up here anytime. The number is 323-577-7630. 323-577-7630. Call up here. Ask them what you want. We'll probably touch on a couple different things before we get to the hot seat, so y'all got time to get your questions together. But call up here, ask him, and he said he don't got no filter.
I don't.
He don't got no filter, so you can ask him anything. You couldn't ask me everything last
Right.
week, but you can ask him anything this week. So light him up.
Right, but I'm gonna tell you right now, be accordingly with your questions, because if you give me a smart ass question, I'm gonna give you a smart ass answer back. So therefore, we're gonna start the show off like we do every week with our disclaimer, because you know what, folks like to be in their feelings.
And we ain't got time for that.
Not on this show.
Wow.
So, with that said, agree to disagree talk. This show is geared towards the educated, empowering, and implementation of voices, thoughts, and opinions from whom by society and sometimes self standards and their way of thinking are oftentimes misheard, misunderstood, and misrepresented. By no means does this show wish to offend anyone outside the black male perspective. That be me, that be he. Nor do we wish to speak for anyone but ourselves and our guests when we do have them. We wish to raise attention and awareness of this through our controversial topics of discussion, attempting to change perception from an us versus them and a me against the world attitude towards levels of self awareness, self evolution, and self accountability in the hopes of making it a better world and place for us all to live in. Ladies and gentlemen, Agree to Disagree, episode 11 is now on the dockets.
Yo. What's up, bro, man? How was your week? You know how we started off.
Right, we got to start it off, check in. It's never as busy as you as of yet.
Oh,
But
man.
I did have a good weekend. I actually did something on the weekend this week. On Sunday, I was able to attend the 14th annual Overness Ball put on by Reach LA, which is an organization I've worked for 14 years. A ball. Reach LA is the organization for the West Coast who puts on balls. If you've ever seen the show Pose, if you've ever seen Paris is Burning, that's what we do. The people who brought it to the West Coast have been doing it for years, but Reach LA is the first nonprofit organization to commence everything and put it in. So it's like a reunion every year to see a lot of people that you don't see through the year. I'm not in the House of Ball community like that, but I am a fixture since I did work with Reach LA. So I had my little 70s Afro wig on Sunday. It was held at the Jules Catch One. So it was a good time. I'm really glad. I can't believe it's 14 years because I was there at the first ball. So that's what I did.
Okay.
And you, sir, what was on your agenda, your plate?
Well, I was out of town again, but I'm back. Just taking care of this rehearsals for the theater, this play got going on. So making sure we can cross the T's, dot the I's, get Can you hear me better now?
Right, producer Paul in the house.
I could hear me better now. I said I could hear me better now. All right, so just like I said, I was out of town, but now I'm back. Dealing with the rehearsals, doing theater right now. So, I got this big play, and as I told you guys a few episodes ago, 6 episodes ago. That's crazy that I could say 6 episodes ago. Like 6 episodes ago, I got the lead role in the play, so I kind of, give a lot of input on, changes that need to be made, and so just sitting with the director and talking about what need to be changed and trying to make sure we can make this a good performances. So yeah.
Right, and I'm ready to sit in the front row with my box of tomatoes. So I will be there. This is not your first play though, so
No, it is, but it's not. It's my I've did this play before
okay.
2 years ago. So that was my first time doing theater 2 years ago, and it's nothing like film. I tell you that much.
Nope.
I like film a lot better. But so they wanted me to come back and ask me. They offered me the role again, and I accepted. So we got a completely different cast. So it's kind of difficult trying to make sure we can get everybody on cue because a couple years ago, perfect. So I mean,
They got some big shoes to fill, huh?
they got some big shoes to fill. But you know what? I got faith in them. You know what I'm saying? They could do it.
Well, that's cool. I'm excited to come. Like I said, support you and send them our way. Like I said, we once we start having guests, I love to have the director in, to talk about what the play is, because it's a process. I'm got a couple of things I'm working on the back burner too. So, yeah, I would love to have them in and see how your other work environment is.
Oh, no doubt.
So that would be interesting. So submit those questions, ladies and gentlemen. I am in the hot seat tonight. The show only works as well if you interact, if you commentate. This is what's going to keep us going as a podcast. So please don't sit on your hands and submit a question, call in. It's vital that you guys do that. So yeah. There are a few hot topics that we can talk about until we get some questions or something going on. But I did want to congratulate the new Miss Universe, who is from South Africa. So that was a really big step. She in 2017, there was another Miss Universe who was from South Africa. But the good thing about this is that the major pageants that we have, Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA, all the current queens are all black women. So this is the first time in history that this has been done, and it's really a phenomenal feat to have all these black women representing the outside standards of beauty, like her, the Miss Universe. God, I can't even say her name. I don't even want to mess it up, but her speech was just phenomenal. She talked about having young girls, black and brown, look into what she's doing and see a representation of herself. And so it really means a lot. So I've seen the shows where they've done the three other queens currently. So now all the major pageants, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, Miss World, and Miss Universe, all the pageants are women of African American descent. So that's really a big phenomenon. So I'm really excited about that. I've held a couple of pageant roles myself. It's a lot. So you know, yes, you can submit any question you would like to submit to me. I am not holding back, but be wise and answer your questions accordingly because I'm going to give you just as much as you give.
Ask his ass anything.
So, yeah. Speaking of asses,
Oh, you must be talking about Lizzo.
I mean, the ass of all asses. Man,
I ain't really pay that too much attention, so I can't really speak much on it. Look, let her do what she want to do. You skinny girls do it.
right.
You
Twigs.
what's the word? Skinny thick. What's the word? Slim thick. You slim thick chicks do it. Let her big ass do it. You know what I'm saying? Let her have confidence too.
Only thing I have to say is that there is a time and place.
Is it a time? It's not a. I mean, at the basketball game now, that was like, come on, Lizzo, like seriously. But her pictures and everything. Look, you skinny chicks do it. Let her do it.
Right. That's
Shoot,
that's the only thing.
it's some people out there that like bigger women.
I'm gonna tell you, as a plus size man and as a plus size woman, when I'm up in drag, don't you worry about it, bitch. Somebody like it. And so, if you don't like it, change the channel. But again, I do wish that there was a little bit, more decorum. But like she said, she got excited when they was playing her song, so she got up and danced and she shook all that ass. And now, we have the ass that's seen shook around the world now. But again, you're not gonna take her paper. But again, it could have been a little bit more at a different, venue.
That's it. Just at a different venue. She could do what she want. I didn't see a problem with it. I just saw a problem with the location. That's other than that. Hey, little do your thing. Shake that mug.
Right, but as usual, people are so hard pressed in their feelings.
People just need something to talk about, man.
Something other than their own business. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, submit those questions. The show is only as good as your feedback. We can only do so much. Call in if you like. 323-577-7630 is our call-in number. Also, we have our shows on the streaming site. So if you are not able to stream them on our Facebook pages, hit either of us up. We can give you, we're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher,
Google.
Google Play. We're I think up to episode 8 on the streaming
We
sites.
coming to iHeartRadio.
Yes.
We coming, y'all.
So I'm excited. So
I am a
please
faithful
spread the
user.
word.
I got something I want to talk about real quick.
What is it, sir?
Relationships
What's that?
and discussions or arguments. You know what I'm saying? I like to call it facts versus feelings.
Are you proud of yourself?
Facts versus feelings. Jake, what you mean about facts versus feelings? Well, I'm glad you asked.
I am too.
Yeah. Why is it that when you argue or have a discussion with a woman, or just your significant other, let's just put it like that, your significant other, whether it be a male or a woman, your significant
Why
other,
not just a person in general?
because persons don't matter in this that I'm talking about. Your significant other matter.
We
It
do
can
have,
either only be a man or a woman.
we do have a question.
How we got a question and I'm about to ask a question?
Well,
Oh, that you can't. Okay, Ms. Martin, you can't ask that question just yet. That is a question you can't ask, but he'll deal with that. He'll deal with that once we start asking questions.
Yes.
Once we take questions. Right now, we answering my question. Fine with that?
I mean,
It seems to me that I'm gonna speak for myself. Whenever
I so
I'm,
hope so. I so hope. That's one thing. If they ask me anything that you've learned since being here together, I'm so glad you use I statements.
is that a good thing?
That's a hella good thing.
All right, thank you. So why is it that it seems like with me, when I'm going back and forth with a young lady, they want to tell me how they feel. They want to express to me how they feel and say, you should take my feelings into consideration. I agree with that. I get it. But if we're discussing something or if we're arguing about something and I'm stating facts, why should I compromise for your feelings when your feelings aren't factual? Your feelings are valid. But if we're arguing about something and you say, well, I feel like this, but I'm telling you, but it's actually like this, and the reason why it is like this, we can go back to receipts and have proof and whatever, and actually show you that it's really like this. Why is it that women, I'm gonna just say women because that's what I deal with, women still want to go back and forth with you or with me and say, but I still feel like this.
And
Should your
you still haven't got the lesson after all this years. There is a huge difference, Jake, than what you may think is factual may not be facts for the other person.
It's facts if you have. It's facts if you have. Okay, if it is factual that that in the green writing up there, the first word says attempting, right?
Well, first of all, that's not actually green. That's a different shade of green.
It is factual that the first word in the third paragraph is attempting, right?
Okay.
Why is it factual?
Because it's there.
Because it's there. Because you can hold on. Because you can see it, right?
Right.
If
But
I'm
I
pulling
don't
out,
feel comfortable. If I told you I'm not comfortable with that word being used, that's still valid.
if we're arguing, okay, let me pull out an example. Why do you always have to let us know he like?
Exactly. Thank you so
Well,
much.
because every week, RZA, we have new viewers, so I do want to, people really don't. First of all, we got away from the origin of the podcast. We got away from it, but we want to do what everybody likes. So to answer your question, we have viewers who probably don't know. So I'm going to remind them that what I like, and he has no problem reminding people what he like.
Actually,
why is it a problem that I say
Because it's-
that I'm
okay.
why is it a problem that I say I'm dealing with women? Why is that a problem, RZA?
Well,
Thanks for watching.
I can't speak for him, but my problem with it
Okay.
is that it's not the basis of our show, or as we've been here for 11
I
weeks.
just said we got away from it.
Right. But as we've been here for 11 weeks, none of us between the hours of 7:30 and 8:30 are engaged in sexual activities. And
Okay,
so I get that you don't want people to assume anything, but that's not the basis of you as a man. We
right.
and
But
I
if
do you hear me saying I'm gay because I don't want people to assume or think that I'm straight?
do you hear
No.
me saying that I'm straight because I don't want people to assume that I'm no? I say if I'm giving an example, I'm referring to me and women. If it's let me ask you this question, Rizza, since you don't want to ask the question. If it's my example, why I can't use the words I want to use? Well, I can't say what I want to say. If it's my example, I'll wait for your response.
See, have you considered asking her, the young ladies, about why she has those thoughts, brother? Those emotions are triggered by her thoughts.
Exactly, I understand that. So that's why I said her feelings are valid. So I'm listening to them. But if you cannot state factual proof or evidence or whatever about whatever it is we're arguing about, but I'm showing you, look, no, this isn't. This is what it is, because this is what was said, or this is what you see. This is what it is. So if you say, well, I still feel like it shouldn't be like that, well, I'm not the one who said it, or I'm not the one who put it here. Either you did or whoever else did. But the thing is, it's concrete. It's here. I can show you. I can't say, well, I feel like it shouldn't be there. My feelings don't matter when it comes to something that's already concrete, something that's already there. I feel like you shouldn't. I feel like, can I just use an example? Rizza, you really threw me off. I was about to give an example,
Yes,
wasn't
you
I?
can use an example on my week to be in the hot seat. Yes, sir, you can.
Oh, did we not talk about 4 topics before we got to the questions for me last week? Did we or did we not?
So, Jake, do you know what a backhanded compliment is?
Giving me.
So basically, by you saying that this is facts, but your opinions don't really matter, is by saying I hear your feelings and your thoughts, but it doesn't matter because this is fact. You're still acknowledging their feelings, but you're diminishing them by saying this is fact. We all know that when it rains, it gets wet. What they're saying is, we know that when it's raining, it's wet, but this is how the rain makes me feel. There's a big difference. And again, by you saying, "Oh, I get your feelings, but this is fact," you're diminishing their feelings and not acknowledging them as how they feel. The fact is that there is slavery. There are people who don't think that when we say how we feel as African Americans is valid, or that we're in our feelings. The fact is,
Repeat
slavery
that.
happened. That's the fact.
That's the
There's no
fact.
getting away from it. So you're saying and they say it to us, there are certain people, whites, who say it, oh, it happened 400 years ago.
But they don't want
Get
us to
over it.
feel for it either. So that's
Right.
a bad example.
No, it's not, because again, the fact is what it is, but they still have to acknowledge how it made us feel, regardless if it was them, their parents, their grandparents, or not. That is what made us feel the way we feel. And so you can't say this is fact. I acknowledge how you feel, but this is fact. You're giving a backhanded compliment.
Okay. Thank you. Because the reason I brought this up is because, and I agree with everything you said. I agree 100% of what you said. The reason I brought this up because I noticed in like the type of person that I am, and how do you say this person's name?
Hame.
Hame.
Hey, Hame.
Hame. I'm just reading the first part of your comment. So I'm not saying her feelings aren't factual. I'm not saying that at all. I didn't read the rest. I'm sorry, brother. But the reason, so ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I brought this up is because I notice every time I get into a disagreement or an argument, I'm more of a. So I didn't start that just to say her feelings aren't bad. Da, da, da. I actually asked that question so I can learn. I'm asking that question so I can get your guys' point of view. That way, I know how to address situations like that, from today on.
Right.
So I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought it up.
Right.
But I brought it up because this is like I legit really want to know, and that was a great, explanation. I actually understand. I'm just the type of person, I always base everything off facts. If it can't be proven, it's probably my whole like what I went to school for and everything is if it can't be proven, then I feel like it shouldn't be talked about. I never took it as, well, just because just because I feel like this, that doesn't mean what you're saying is wrong. This is just how I feel about whatever it is. I still feel like that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to put in words, but
No,
whatever it is, the example you just gave, the explanation you just gave is exactly what I needed to hear. That was perfect.
there are always learning opportunities, and I applaud you. I will answer one question. What have I learned a lot is to be receptive to other people. I am that person that has to have everything written down. It has to be a certain way and things like that. I think in my feelings. I'm learning that that's not always the best way to approach a situation. And so I think the pairing of us doing this show is teaching us both how to deal with other people. Again, the purpose of for me doing this show was to get another person's opinions or their feelings about situations and not still be in my feelings, because if I'm feeling a certain way, yes, I can feel it, but I'm not listening to you. When you're saying things, if I'm so dead set on this is how I feel and that's end all be all, then I'm not in a position to learn. That's just like there was a comment made on somebody else's page. And instead of me going off and reading them like I can, I brought it to their attention. I've learned that going off and doing the whole angry gay person or whatever the case may be is not the answer, especially when you see people who are receptive. There are difference than a person who just don't want to listen. You on the other hand, you because of your post prior to this show is why I asked you to do this show with me. So there is learning rooms on both ends of the spectrum. We just have to step back sometime and get out of our feelings and listen to how another person feels.
Yeah. So I'm just, putting this out there, y'all. I'm still going to argue my case on this show about whatever topic about whatever it is. I'm not going to disagree because somebody feel like something. I was specifically asking as far as relationship wise go, how can I become a better significant other to the person I'm involved with? Because I will argue somebody down until they see that if I don't talk about it.
Right, but
But I
that
needed
is
to
not
hear,
always
right. I needed to
the
hear
case
what
in
you
the
just said.
situation,
Right.
because again, like the community. Let's communicate, let's talk. Learning that because you're doing so much, and it may seem as if you don't care, or it may come off in your one worded text and things like that. And so I had to step back when those things happen and be like, okay, this is what he's bringing to the table. This is his way, and still allow a person to be. So these are not just lessons for relationships, intimate wise. These are lessons to learn in general how we deal with people on a regular basis, how we deal with the world, and then at the same time, how we want the world to deal with us. I can't say to you, Jake, understand this is my plight as a gay black man if I'm not willing and able to listen to what you have to say and process it and say, okay, how can I do better or how can I see it? Because again, we come from two different worlds. And so if I'm not able to step back and see that there's a learning moment and an evolution that needs to be happened, conversations that need to be happened, then we're just going to be butting heads the whole time. You're not listening. If two people are screaming and yelling, no, somebody has to be the bigger person or have the ability to sit back and listen to the person and the things they're saying.
Okay, cool. Everybody that responded to that, I appreciate your response. That is something that I was holding for today, and I was hoping you guys could explain it the way you did. Appreciate that, Armand. Great response. Great response. Appreciate that. Dante, Ms. Martin. Appreciate that. I'm missing others. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you guys all. We're scrolling through.
Reza, I'm a relationship person. Sorry. Sorry for your comment. It's just, you learn. And, like I said, I've always been the factual type of person. Like, you got to show me proof. You got to show facts. So it's like facts over feelings. But now I understand that if it's not going to be equal, then at least, if you're not going to look at them the same, at least, I can learn how to consider, her feelings. Even though she may be wrong, I can tell her feelings aren't wrong. Her feeling like that isn't wrong.
Backhanded compliment.
No, no, no,
You just
no,
went
no,
back
no.
and did
No,
it.
listen. What I mean by that is, even though what she's saying isn't what the facts are, that doesn't mean her feelings aren't valid. That doesn't mean I shouldn't consider her feelings.
You have to be cautious of, again, the words that you're using. By you saying wrong, it places a judgment on what's going on. Just like you
I should
pointed to
have I
that.
should have said incorrect.
Right. Or
Say,
that's
no,
still,
I'm joking.
that's still
I'm joking.
is the same thing.
I'm joking.
You that on our disclaimer, you said that's not green. That color's not green. It is a teal.
Turquoise, teal.
It's the teal, and there's a big difference between teal and turquoise.
Is it in the same family?
It's in the same family, but doesn't mean it's the same.
All right.
So you can say that's green, and I can tell you you're wrong all day long.
You're right. That's
But-
fact. That's your fact. That's a fact, though.
Right, but to be specific, it is a specific shade of green. Doesn't mean that we're both wrong. It just means we see it from the different thing. There is movies out right now, and I use that analogy a lot. We can see the same movie, and you can label it as a comedy, and I can say it's a horror movie. And I can give you all day long why I critiqued it as a horror movie. We just saw the same movie. So no one is wrong. Our perception is what's different. Just like people's perception of sexuality, identity, all that stuff is different. Nobody is wrong. It's just we have a different perception. And when we're not listening or acknowledging another person's truth, then that right there is problematic.
323-577-7630. 323-577-7630. Again, I appreciate you guys' response.
Well, some people are hard-headed. And
I appreciate you guys' response. Even you, Rizza. I appreciate your response too, Rizza. But no, I really need to know the answer to that question, and I know that'll help me out from today on. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. Ask me some questions either out the book or people submit your questions.
Okay, yeah.
So ask me some questions.
So I do have a question. Everybody's well. Let's answer Talia. Let's ask her. Let's ask this question first, since
That was the first one, yeah.
the first one. I don't know how far up it is. Let's see. Here it is. She says, "How do you handle a relationship being in the business that you're in?"
I don't. I've not been in a serious, intimate relationship in years. For those who don't know or just now watching, I am an actor, I am a makeup artist, and I'm also a drag queen entertainer. And some people can't take that. They can't take the fact that what I do for a living involves putting on makeup and wigs. And so I shouldn't have to be in a relationship if I'm explaining myself constantly to you, or your insecurities of me always going out and doing the things that I do is not to your liking. And so I really just stopped looking. I didn't want to be fetish, as a fetish. There are people who want nothing but, a drag queen or a female impersonator, things like that. But when I take the wig off, it's a different story. Or I've come across guys who were not secure with their being same-sex attracted. They thought it was too gay that I'm a drag queen. And so I just stopped. I shouldn't have to fight and do the things that I do with strangers in my intimate relationships. So, but as an actor, it's a lot that you have to deal with: insecurities, people not secure with themselves, or people thinking that you're all that, or people thinking that the persona that you have is all of who you are. So no, I don't deal with relationships. I would love one, but it ain't happening.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Armond is in the hot seat. Ask him any questions you want to ask. He said he's answering everything.
Shy, you can always call in too. Let me give you the number. The number is 323-577-7630. We also have a call-in number. So as we're going live every Tuesday from 7:30 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 on the East Coast, we do have a call-in number. You can call in your comments or your question. Again, that number, Mr. Jake.
323-577-7630. Is that Rizzo's name, Chai?
That's, yeah.
Same person? Okay.
Sorry, I just
323-577-7630. You can also call and ask a question or type the question here on the live stream. I want to ask a question that's written down right here. I think I know that. I may know the answer to this.
I'll get to your questions. I have a couple of questions KK, I have your question. To Leah, I have your question after Mr. Jake's question.
What is something that offends you
People who are not receptive
of
of just in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexuality. It's about people not acknowledging and honoring another person, how they choose to describe themselves or what works for them. We can't say we want people to honor and appreciate us if we're not doing the same thing. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the years is I can't ask of you what I'm not willing to do myself. And so I am receptive and understanding of why heterosexual blacks feel a certain way. I may not agree with it, I may not understand it, but I'm receptive and willing to say, okay, I see that point of view. Again, I try to do the same thing as I want other people to do. I try to treat people the way they want to be treated, the same way I want to be treated. So I offer that. If you like it, I love it. That is one of the biggest things I say.
Okay, we got Ms. Martin says, "What is the biggest thing you have learned from Jake so far?" I'm Jake, ladies and gentlemen.
If you didn't know, this is Jake. It goes back to that question. I'm receptive to your way of thinking, your way of doing things, and so we can meet in the middle. Again, the show is called "Agree to Disagree" for a reason. That name didn't just come to me in spirit form. It's what I wish that we as a people can do is agree to disagree. And so I've learned that sometimes I got to step back. You surprised me when you put the videos up. Your enthusiasm has surprised even from the get go, Jake. And I told you this before. Like when I brought it to you, like I was like, oh wow, you want to do this? You want to work with me? But again, I'm glad that we can feed that off each other. And again, at the end of the day, respect and appreciate and honor each other in whatever thought, form, or fashion that we have.
Okay, thank you for the question. If you got more questions, submit. Any questions over there? Questions over
Questions?
there? Let's
Questions?
see. Okay, here we go. We got another question from Season. How welcoming is the LGBTQ community here in Los Angeles?
That's a wide net to say because the LGBT community, there's different sectors when we're dealing with race and gender identity. So, and then also upon the person, I can say I'm welcome in this form or in this group, but not be welcome in something else. So again, we all, every single person on this planet has a lot to learn about receiving people and how we wish to be received. And again, it starts with us honoring ourselves and wishing to honor other people. Just because, there's a big division between, and a lot of people don't know it, everything is not kumbaya under the rainbow. And I've taught you that, we've talked about it before. There's a small black LGBT community, there's a white one, then there's the ones of different demographics, then you have drag queen versus transgenders, then you have the transgenders who have had the full sex assignment surgery versus those who not. We spend so much time dividing ourselves and trying to make ourselves feel better to one another that we forget that at the end of the day, we're all going to bleed red. That is one of my biggest wishes for people in general, black, white, small, big, is that we learn to honor each other. But first, we have to honor ourselves.
Reza said it's welcomed a lot more here in LA than most places.
Yes, it is. That is very true. I've been in LA all my life, all 40 years, so I don't know of other states. I've heard, and when I used to work in HIV and education or mentoring, I see that other states don't have the luxuries that we do here in LA. Again, I mentioned last week, I've never paid for a condom my whole life of sexual activity. I've always been involved with organizations who give them out for free. So someone in the Midwest, like I've read that there are places like if you want to do drag or you're looking into transitioning, you have to go to 3 or 4 different counties over just to be who you are. And it's sad, and again, it comes from the closed mindedness of people.
All right, we have two from the same person. It says, "What is one of your biggest life changing moments, and who has made the biggest impact on your life?" Same person. First question is, what is one of your biggest life changing moments?
I guess it would start when I turned 30, just self introspective, learning more about who I am and not putting up. I come from a background of codependency and people pleasing. And over the last 10 years, I've stepped away from that, which has allowed me to experience life. Not everything doesn't have to be written in stone. Everything doesn't have to be how I want it to be or how I think it should be. So me stepping out of my own way has been the biggest thing for me. And that's again started 10 years ago when I turned 30. But this year at 40, baby, let me tell you, I'm living my best life. And I always talk about people working on being content versus being happy. And what I mean by that is that you can be happy. Happiness is situational. Happiness is I'm happy because I have a nice job. I'm happy because I have a good body. But when you content, even if all that stuff were to leave, how are you acting? How are you treating yourself? I just had a major, what will be considered a drawback in life, something that I took part in, that I made the wrong decisions, and I had to be accountable for that. Years ago, it would have distraught me, it would have torn me to pieces. I'd have been under the bed crying, wouldn't even be here. But today, I'm content knowing that everything happens for a reason. I'm also accountable for the parts that I played in them, even if I don't think they were right. So at this point in my life, I'm content with so much going on and not happy.
Who has made the biggest impact on your life? Second question. Second part.
It's a plethora of people. I've had the pleasure of having people in my life, whether they come in for a week, a month, several years. I can't say specifically a name because it all comes together and making me the person I am. There are people who I see. I just had two mentors I went to this weekend, Reverend Alfreda Lenoir and Xavier. And when I see my mentors now, I look at them and I'm like, I'm 40. That's something that I thought that I'd never be able to say. And having these people know me when I was at my worst is a blessing because I quiet as kept, I wouldn't even want to deal with me 20 years ago, you know. But I've had several people in my life who has contributed to me being a better person for myself. Hopefully, that will encourage other people to be a better person for themselves, which is the title of my book coming out next year, 2020, Purposely on Purpose. Haha.
Okay, I have a question. Was there anybody in your family who, before you came out, who already knew?
Um,
You know how some people like, man, we knew already, but you know,
well, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, my cousins, of course, my mother. I mean, did I show you the picture of me in the wig at 9 months old, right? No, I got to show that to you. But yeah, it was a lot of people. I didn't have any resistance when I came out because it wasn't I came out. It was just like, oh, that's just Armand. My thug cousins, again, once taught me how to fight, used to beat me up. I was like, now it's just like, oh, that's Armand. So it really wasn't a big thing. I didn't change really. And that's the thing people think is like when people come out or that we allow ourselves to, we're the same person. Right now in this space, right now, I am a same-sex attracted man. I'm not fucking nobody right now. Doesn't make me any less, but we defined ourselves so much, and that's one thing I learned again from 30 to 40 is that we spend so much time trying to define ourselves sexually, we don't define ourselves human wise. Just because I'm attracted to men does not mean that's my every waking thought. That does not mean I have to define every move that I make. And we spend so much on that that we forget the humanness of one another.
we have another question by Miss Passmore. Who are candidates that who are candidates that you would consider voting for in the 2020 election?
I'm really not paying too much attention to it. I know I should. I got bigger fish to fry. So I really don't know. I know I can tell you who I'm not voting for before I can tell you who I'm voting for, but I'm really not that invested in the political race right now because just because it's the same skin did not mean that they're kin. And I'm seeing that just because we have a person who is of African American descent does not mean they're for our highest good. So we really have to do a lot of research on the person and their ethics, just instead of just picking them because we want Trump out the way. That's the same thing they did. They voted Trump in because they wanted Barack out the way, and look what they got.
Let's not be stupid. So I'm just, let me just put this out there. Don't be stupid and vote for Joe Biden. Don't be stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. Do your research.
Do your research.
Don't be
Consider the
stupid.
source.
I just had a question on the tip of my tongue. The call-in number 323-577-7630, 323-577-7630. If you want to call in and ask a question, please do, or submit your questions the way you're doing them now.
Right.
God, what was my question? Okay, I'll ask the question that's written down.
Thank you, Shy. Thank you so much, brother.
What's something that you are embarrassed that you're good at? You're embarrassed that you're good at it, if that makes sense. You're embarrassed, but you're good at it. Does that make sense? Hell, you
Yeah.
wrote the damn question.
Right.
So
Well, I didn't write it. It comes from a thing called 30 Deep Questions to Ask Yourself. And I've asked myself all those. I've also done them when I do mentoring and things like that. Today, there's not really much that I'm embarrassed by. I would have been embarrassed, and I was taught being a drag queen, being gay, being plus size, all those things that people used to make me feel bad for, that I end up excelling by, and turning it around. Like I never thought that I would be able to be an actor. Never thought it wasn't in the cards for somebody like me. I never thought that I would excel at stepping outside of just performing in the clubs into acting with it, and doing more with it. I never thought that I would be a makeup artist and people take me seriously. Like again, I was dealing with insecurities when I was doing y'all makeup. Because again, I was always told that, oh, you're too gay or things like that. So I would always try to tone it down a bit.
and I had no clue. I had
I'm
no clue you
still
was
not
gay.
understand you.
I had no clue you was gay.
You Stevie Wonder with that because I just
I didn't know it till 2 years later.
But that's one of the things that I was embarrassed about years ago, that people made me, insecure about being plus size or being gay or being a drag queen. Like I should hide who I am, or being the fact that I know a lot of shit. I'm smart as hell. I got the book knowledge and the street knowledge, but I realize that other people's insecurities, they play on people. And it takes us learning who we are and what we're good at to step away from that. And you realize, and again, it sounds cliche, people say it all the time, it's not you, it's them. It literally fucking is them. Because they'll make you feel insecure because they'll diminish what you're doing. Oh, you was on one show, that don't mean nothing. Oh, okay, you a drag queen, that don't mean nothing. And then you take that internally. And those tapes play in your head all the time to the point where you don't try new things or you limit yourself on what you can do when it's them.
We got a question. Louis, I don't know if you go by Louis or Louis.
Louis.
Thank you. Thank you. From the both of us.
Wait, I'm sorry, Jaime. Don't you start, Jaime. But I asked Jake the same question. How did he not know? But that
No, let me answer. Let me answer that. Ms. Martin, we're gonna get to your question in a minute. The reason why I didn't know, and I said this in the first episode, is because I don't place judgment on somebody, so I don't automatically look at somebody and be like, okay, yeah, he's gay. You know what I'm saying? If he don't, because on set, Armond, he was very professional. I'm in actor mode, but he's very professional. So I just look at another man who doing makeup or whatever he's doing on people, and I just I didn't it didn't register. It didn't just look. I'm trying to answer this question. Just because somebody I'm gonna use the word flamboyant. I don't think that's automatic. That automatically makes them gay at all. So, they could just be, flamboyant. I know a lot of flamboyant men they're 100% straight. They're straight. It's just, I don't know, maybe they got all sisters, so that's really all they seen, but they were still raised with a daddy in the home. And, they whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But I just didn't look at Armand and be like, yo, okay, yo, you gay. I didn't know he was gay until I was on Facebook and he had posted these pictures. He had posted these pictures of what I thought was his girlfriend. So as I'm scrolling through the pictures,
He
it
thought Imani was my girlfriend. What the
do,
fuck
do,
I'm gonna do with a bitch that look just like
do
me?
he know who Imani is? Wait, no.
My
I don't play.
followers know who
I,
Imani
I don't
Phoenix is.
place judgment. So I'm thinking that's his girlfriend. I'm like, okay, you got to, got him a little thing. I say, do your thing, you do your thing. So I'm swiping through the picture, and I said, he got a wig on, no wig. Oh snap, okay, that's not his girlfriend. That's Armand. Okay, so
Jake,
that's what I found out.
you had to be Stevie Wonder blind. Not and again, I appreciate that. Again, once we became friends, on Facebook, I saw the interaction you were having with the people that follow you and things like that, and your receptiveness. If I don't even know if that's a word, you being receptive to listening to people's opinions and thoughts. So that's what made me want to consider you for this project.
Yeah, if y'all, I mean, for those who don't follow my Facebook, there's times where I'll write a status and the women will come down on me, yo. But I don't care. So because ain't nobody else gonna ask these questions, and how else we gonna know if we gonna ask these questions? And I'm gonna argue with you. I'm gonna go back and forth with you until you make it make sense.
Right, and that's
You
how we
know?
build our rapport. Is that I start seeing them, and so I put my little 2 cents in, and it's like, oh, okay, I see. I mean, it started with the whole Black Panther controversy, where there were people assume because there are in the Marvel comics there are the Dora Milaje, the guards, whatever. One of them does have a lesbian relationship. So in the movie, they took that out for whatever reason. Black folks were coming at the LGBT community thinking that's something that we did or why wasn't it included, and it was an article by a white gay man. I had to tell Jake and his followers, like, from the people that I know, we just happy that the movie's out. Yes, that's a small part, but we're not tripping on it. And that's when he realized that it ain't all kumbaya under the rainbow.
Yeah, see, I always thought that everybody in the LGBTQ community was like strong arm. They were they're together. They was together, and anybody come against us, we taking your whole career. I thought they was all unified, but I didn't know until Armand educated me on that. Um, let's get to this question. She says, if you could be someone else in the world, who would it be and why?
Nobody. I'm content in everything. I would like to maybe experience life on a different, through another person, but I got I'm loving me right now, and I'm finally enjoying that part of me, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever like that. I'm really content with it right now. So I wouldn't want to be anybody else. What they have or what they're up to in their profession, I would like that, but I would still want to be me if I can do all that stuff.
Okay. You got any regrets in life?
Yeah, no. Like I'm so like
Like I
right
learned from
now.
everything, nigga. I learned.
I'm really like there. It's like my one of my biggest affirmations I say is expect nothing and be grateful for everything. In that is that I can't put a label.
You probably want to read that.
It happens. Everything happens for a reason. I can sit there and label the experience, the situation bad or wrong or beat myself up for it, but then I'm not opening myself to realize number one, the parts that I played in them, and number two, what would it represent? We're always at a learning process in life.
You probably won't answer. I know we only got a couple minutes left. Let me
Right.
read this question. It's very interesting. It said, "Hey Armand, I'm from a small town in Alabama. I'm not attracted to men. I'm guessing he meant men right there. I'm not attracted to men, but I really like to wear women's clothes. Is that a normal thing?"
Would you what's normal? Like it would be have to be your personal definition of what you consider being normal. Putting on football pads or dressing up as a cowboy or things like that, that has been deemed normal. But like RuPaul says, everything is drag. We're all attempting every time an actor goes on and put on a different clothes, they're acting. They're being something they're not. So when it comes to like I it was normal. Like I wasn't told it wasn't good until people start telling me that. I didn't know my attraction towards men wasn't right until other people start telling me that. And that's when I start having insecurities. I'm a hugger. I love hugging. I love being affectionate. It has nothing to do with sexual identity or expression. That's just the kind of loving person I am. But it wasn't until other people start putting their restrictions on what's normal and what's not. So if that's how you feel, if you want to put on a cowboy hat with some stiletto pumps, do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else.
Okay. Oh, okay. We got another one. Oh, okay. It says, Jake is an amazing person, and you should.
Are you sure that's a question? Are you are you sure you didn't make
Oh,
that up?
you can actually watch it now, huh? You can see.
Yeah, I got a better phone now, so I
I'm
can.
paying no attention.
You saw, but I just want to know, is that a real question?
No, that's not a question.
I
just made
figured
that.
that. See,
What we got? What we looking at?
55.
Seconds? Oh, minutes. 5 minutes left. Okay, okay, okay. Do we have any questions? Probably got time for one more question. Probably got time. Did I say one more questions?
you did. You
We
said
got
that.
time for one
You
more
said-
question.
You said that with a plural.
Singular. Singular. Let's see.
How do I get
No
the
questions?
back?
I'm talking about you.
No,
You ain't got no questions in the corner.
no, I can't think.
No question, producer Paul.
Oh,
I can't think.
He said thank you so much for your response.
oh yeah. Oh, you know what, Eric? I'm shut up. Hey, Eric.
So Rizzo was talking about when I said just because somebody's flamboyant doesn't mean they're gay. I said I know some straight guys that are
yeah.
flamboyant. And he said, Are they really straight?
Yeah.
We got a question. Oh, well, last question. What's on? If you want to address Rizzo or you want to answer that?
I can just again. I know what we define as masculine for the black and brown communities. Other communities don't have that stigma, that restriction. So I know many Filipino men, 100% straight. They more feminine, or as we like to say, fishier than me. Again, we can't just how we want people to receive us. We have to be receptive of other people as well.
Say his name one more time.
Hame.
Thank you, Hame. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We
Jaime.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much. He's one of the people that has some stories on me at my worst points in life and has been there. And sometimes we need a good reading because, again, I'll be honest, I would not want to deal with myself at 20 years old. Hell to the no.
Last question. What's on your bucket list?
I can have an expectation just to wake up tomorrow morning. I'm gonna be honest. I have a gratitude book that lists 3 things that you're supposed to be grateful for. I believe in putting away gratitude because it's like a bank account. You never know when you're gonna need it. So if you're not putting into being great, like when this situation happened to me in life, I was so glad that I had the reserve of being grateful for the small things that it didn't shake me. And so it tells you to list 3 things that you are grateful for every day. And the first thing on every day, it says, thank you for waking me up this morning. Because I realize how precious that is and that everyone does not have that opportunity. So I could have an idea of what I would like to do. But again, the smallest things is just being able to wake up every morning.
Okay. If I could, we're about to close out. We got about like a minute and a half left. About a minute and a half. Let me answer Lewis for the question. He said, guys who are homophobic, do you think they are truly fighting their curiosity? Honestly, if I could just
Yeah, 'cause-
put my opinion on that real quick, I feel like guys that are extremely homophobic, I do feel like they are fighting it. I really do because the thing is, why do you care that much? Why do you care that much? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean it's true. Anytime somebody has such, and is not just with homophobia, it's with race, it's with size, it's with a person's health status, or why are you so pressed about another person? When you look like there's so much more to do with life than worry about another person. You really have to step back and ask yourself and you do when you step back and you see a person, you're like, oh, I can't stand that person. Honestly ask yourself, what is it about that person? Whether it's the way they talk, whether it's the way they dress, and ask yourself, why am I so pressed about if a person comes out I wish I can come out like Lil Kim with my titty out, baby, and have Diana Ross touch my titty. I'd have been happy. But the people who were pressed about it, maybe there's something that they need to work on with themselves, just like with Rizzo. Okay, you don't like big girls. Okay, say that, but don't be so to the point, oh, why she had to do this? Are you upset because you not doing it? Ask yourself that when we can take the time and literally and figuratively get naked with ourselves and have those questions and have those answering sessions, then we see life so much different. Why am I so pressed about this situation? Why am I upset or don't like that person? And you can honestly answer those questions, then everything else is gravy after that.
All right. Well, Armand was in the hot seat today. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in for episode 11 of
Wow.
Agree to Disagree Talk.
Yeah.
Man,
11.
episode 11, y'all. So we getting ready to close this out. I'm your host, Charles Jake Johnson. You can follow me on Instagram at the letter C, Jake Johnson. That's C, Jake Johnson. And you know how I close it out. Make big problems small, make small problems non-existent. And if I can quote one of my favorite things that I've ever heard in life, Hakuna Matata. It's like, no, I'm joking. Go ahead, bro.
I don't know. Again, start having those conversations with yourself. They don't have to be anything drawn out or big, but start being honest with yourself. Michael Jackson said it the best, like, look at the man or woman or person in the mirror and do it for yourself. Fuck everybody else. Do it for yourself. Make you want to be a better person. And whatever that is, do it for yourself. You ain't got to explain shit to nobody. Just do it. Nike.
Thank you. We are
Oh, one thing I do want to say.
not out yet.
No, I do want to stress that, again, the show is only as good as your interactions and your comments. So please submit your topics, your thoughts, your opinion. We have a streaming on all the major streaming sites. Submit us, ask us for that information. We can send them to you, but your support is greatly needed and appreciated. Thank you guys so much.
Inbox us questions. Let us know topics, for next week so we can, we can hit them topics, hit your topics you want to talk about it. We could talk about it to the best of our abilities. Thank you.
Thank you. And we out.
Peace.